legal requirements for setting up a franchise. Now this is really, really important because almost all provinces in Canada, and Alberta especially, have laws that require certain things to be in place when you set up a franchise. Why do they do this? In essence, they set up these laws so that it protects the public from getting taken advantage of, screwed around. They want to make sure that people are able to make informed choices and aren't misdirected. Now, the process for setting up all the paperwork for a franchise isn't a quick, easy, oh, I'll just download a piece of paper and it's fine. No, that doesn't work. It doesn't work ever for franchise law. And the consequences of not having it can be huge. So you really want to make sure you've done it right. Now, some people say, well, we're not going to call it a franchise, we'll call it something else, and that will allow us to get around the franchise laws so you don't have to do things like disclosure documents. That doesn't work either, because the law will look at what the intention is, what's the party's expectations, how is this set up, and if it smells like a rose and looks like a rose, the court's going to call it a rose. So you want to make sure that everything's in line. I mentioned disclosure agreement. That's going to be really important. That discloses to a potential franchisee, the person who's buying into a franchise, like who's getting it from you, that they're informed as to risks, obligations, what their costs are, and all that kind of things. Other parts that are going to be really important is the actual agreement, the franchisor-franchisee agreement that sets up the rules between the two of you. Those come in a huge range, and some of them can be quite onerous on a franchisee, and some of them are more evenly balanced. It's up to you to decide how you want to set that up. But remember, part of the franchise law is that the person has to look at it and be able to decide if this is appropriate for them or not. Ideally, everyone has their lawyers review it to make sure that they fully understand the net effect of the consequences of entering into a franchise agreement. You really want to make sure all these things are set up properly so you don't have problems down the road. You've had a great business idea. Maybe you've had great success in creating your business and growing it and want to expand that business by way of a franchise model versus opening up your own locations or any other of the different choices. Franchises work. They're a good model. It sets up good direction. It lets someone buy in to a business and have everything set up in terms of what they have to do. And those are often very regimented. And the regimented is in place because they work. And having those set up in your franchise documents is going to be really important, not just for you and your franchisee, but for the business itself.